Welcome to the Layman Seminary. Today I'm going to be continue doing our study on Romans, how to study and share a paragraph by paraphrasing. In the last video, I talked about how you can read quickly and make a descriptive summary and application summary. And I also have done this in the previous video series, Synthetic Method. But I'm doing this specifically on Romans because it was requested, and it just gives a fresh take on what we're doing. Now today we're going to focus on this second step, read quickly and paraphrase by using substitution, expansion, reduction, and inversion. Okay, and next time we're going to be breaking it down by punctuation and making a summary. So whenever we're making, in all these steps, we're doing three levels of summary: a descriptive summary, a principal summary, and application summary. But this method that I'm focusing on today is mainly going to help us deal with the issue of how to write a more effective descriptive summary. Now, there are some benefits of this paraphrasing method. For example, substitution, using one word for another, it helps us study and share, in other words, what the passage is talking about that will help our audience understand what the passage is saying. Now, for the expansion method, wherever you're trying to clarify or expound on the concepts and words needed in there, this helps us understand what words we need to study further and which words we need to clarify to others. Reduction, of course, is where we're trying to summarize the main point for ourselves to understand the passage and able to share it with other people. And then inversion is just basically where you move things around and it helps keep the study fresh. So you see how these fit in with the mission statement of the Layman Seminary, teaching Christians how to study and share the Bible with others. Now there's some cautions that I want to mention as we go into this method. The first caution, or the main caution, is accuracy. Text chose specific words, so when we substitute those words, we may lose something. The text chooses to explain certain things. So when we go to explaining things, we're explaining them for things that the original audience already understood, or probably already understood. And then also things are written in a specific order. So if you use inversion, you're reversing that order. And that's fine because we need to take the Bible world to the understanding of the people in our congregational world. Okay, so I'm just going to do one verse, an idea of what we're kind of like doing here. And that way this video is quick. You get in there, you get the main idea of it. So the verse says, first, I thank my God through Jesus Christ for you all, because your faith is being proclaimed throughout the whole world. Now, if I'm to substitute those words, I might say instead of first, off the top. And rather than saying I thank and all that, I could say I show thankfulness to my Creator by means of the anointed man, Jesus Christ, for the reason that the fact that you are saved is known worldwide. So I'm using different words to say the same thing. Now, if I was using an expansion, I might say something like this. Before I say anything else, I want to show thanks to God, whom I have a personal relationship thanks to his Son, that I'm emphasizing is the anointed man. Because what better reason than to give thanks to God than for the fact that your belief in him is being known worldwide. And now, if I was going to try to summarize things or condense things, I might say something like this. Paul describes himself as being in relationship with God through the ministry of the Messiah, because their faith is being known worldwide. And I kind of didn't clarify why he was praising God for that. And then the inversion, you might want to switch things around. You can say Paul's reason for thinking two members of the Trinity is that they have a worldwide testimony. And what you'll see here is that my tendency is to go at the reduction level. I try to use as few words as possible to explain the text. But that's just because my goal is to get to the main point. Okay, and you can see I've done this with all the passage. Now, what you can do is after you've done this at all the different levels, is you can go and you can put them all together. So let's just read the same passage except using the substitution method. Off the top, I shall thankfulness to my Creator by means of the anointed man, Jesus Christ, for the reason that the fact that you are saved is known worldwide. My explanation for saying this is the God who I have been commissioned to the depths of my being for preaching the message about his Son is the one you can ask why I say I don't stop praying for you and ask them that if it be your will, I can finally visit you. What I mean is I can't wait to see you so that I can teach you the Word of God to help you become more rooted. The encouragement will be mutually edifying. I want you to know I've tried to see you in the past, but it's not happening. And I want to get more results from you and the other Gentiles. I feel like I owe it to every kind of Gentile. I know why I'm eager to visit. And that's pretty rough, but it did use the method of substitution. So let's try the next one. Before I say anything else, I want to show thanks to God, whom I have a personal relationship. Thanks to his Son that I'm emphasizing is the anointed man. Because what better reason than to give thanks to God than for the fact that your belief in him is being known worldwide? Let me tell you why I say this. Let me describe to you God as the commissioner of the content of the message about his Son. I serve him with my whole inner being. I swear before him that I'm constantly praying for you, and specifically, I am especially praying that it will be his will for me to visit you. The reason I'm praying to see you because I want to strengthen your world-renowned faith so that you can be mutually edifying to each other. Keep in mind that I've tried to visit so that there are more results among the Gentiles, but for some reason I've been prevented by something or someone. Hence, while I'm praying to God about it, my commission as apostle is to the Gentiles, and now you know why I want to go to Rome. Again, pretty rough, but it used the expansion method. So here's reduction. Paul describes himself as being in relationship with God through the ministry of the Messiah because their faith is being known worldwide. Hearing about your faith makes me want to see you, and I know the God that commissioned me to give this content about his Son knows how much I pray for you. Specifically, I'm praying that I could see you. The reason I want to see you so that a mutually edification may occur. I want more results among the Gentiles, so I'm praying that hindrance be removed. I am on a mission to the Gentiles. That's why I want to visit you. And then last of all, inversion. Paul's reason for thanking two members of the Trinity is that they have a worldwide testimony. God who commissioned him with the content knows how bad he's praying to see you since he heard of their faith. Mutual edification will be the result of his coming. He's praying that the hindrance be removed so that he can have more results among you Gentiles. Have him a commission to the Gentiles. And that Rome is his destination ultimately. Now, a lot of times I use first person in this. And if you were going to write a commentary or a paper or explain it to somebody else, you might switch it to third person, which is kind of like easy to do. But you can, each one of these, you can go back and you can say, all right, I like those words. I like this explanation. I like how this is a good summary point, and I like this order of things. You can mix and match, and you can come up with a more accurate summary of your passage that way. And you can think about what differences, what choices you made, and what it might have cost you, and what it may benefit you in that process, and where you might go study more in that. But this helps you to start finding words to be able to explain the passage, to wrestle with the passage, and be able to explain it with others. Like for me, I would probably go with something at the reduction level, and I would go and I would say, all right, where am I not being clear in my summary? What can I include from these other things? Can I reorder things in a certain way so that whenever I explain this, it's a lot more clear? And then I would probably go in and make my summary from there. But if I were to just do one real quick, so you just see, let's see, I'm gonna change my color to purple. All right, so I could say Paul describes himself as being in relationship with God. I could like that. Through the ministry, and then I might want to mention a specific ministry. Sounds like the intercession ministry, intercessionary ministry of the Messiah. And he is thanking God We could say through Christ, even though we're kind of already clarified it, through Christ, because of we said in one place their world-renowned faith. World-renowned faith. Now I was talking about the known world at that time. But anyway, when Paul hears of this faith, it makes him want to see them in order to bring mutual edification in fulfillment of his apostolic commission to the Gentiles, that is related to the Abrahamic covenant. Let's say fulfillment, maybe a partial fulfillment. And that even brought in some stuff that I talked about in a previous video from the previous passage. And so you can see, one thing I forgot to mention is that he senses that he is being hindered and is praying about God's will. Okay, so there's your descriptive summary. And then I could come in and I could say something at the interpretive level. Is I could say that believers should desire to thank God when others express faith, and also be willing to edify each other, knowing that there will be obstacles to seeing these spiritual blessings. But it is the will of God. Something like that. And then application should be, let's say application can be something like this. Thank God when other Christians are showing their faith, help each other grow in your faith, and pray that you be in the will of God. Be sensitive to opposition as it relates to God's will and direction. So you can see I just went from taking the reduction summary, and I kind of changed some words about, kind of filled in some things. Then I went to the interpretive summary, and then I went to application. So I went from the Bible world to the modern world, or the bridge between it, and then to the application world. Just as easy as that. And so that's what I'm saying. That this method is very helpful in that process. And of course, you get more accurate as you do your word studies, as you get into your grammar and things like that. But that's for another time. So hopefully this has been a blessing to you. I would like to hear from you. Let me know what you think. I didn't use a microphone this time. I'm just using the one built in. So hopefully the sound will be a lot better. But please subscribe, share this with others, and hit the button so that you can get notifications. God bless.